So what are Scrum values? What are Scrum pillars? Why are they important? Hi, my name is Chris. I'm a Scrum Master with over 9 years of experience in the field of project management as a whole. In this video, we're going to be talking about what the Scrum values are and what the Scrum pillars are. So why are these two aspects important in terms of agile project development? In anything in life, that's my belief, before you succeed, you must always bounce back to what your values are and what your principles are as a guide as you go ahead to achieve whatever goal you have set for yourself. In terms of Scrum, in terms of Agile, if your organization or if your team has decided to use Scrum as the product development framework, then you must always make sure your team has that foundation or is guided by all the Scrum values and the Scrum pillars. So, for the Scrum values, we have the first one being focus. So, what is focus about? Focus is about the sprint goal. As you would recall in my prior videos, I talked about what the sprint planning is all about. The outcome of the sprint planning, or one of the outcomes of the sprint planning, is to come out with the sprint goal. So this is the goal the team has set for itself to achieve at the end of that iteration or at the end of that sprint. So if the team has decided that our goal for this sprint is to develop maybe the GPS functionality and to develop the payment method functionality of a ride-sharing app, for example, then whatever decisions the team is making within the course of that sprint, whatever changes that are being made, maybe being introduced by the PO, the team should ask itself, are these changes, are these modifications, is this new information that we want to implement within this sprint helping us get closer to the achievement of our sprint goal? So that's the focus on the sprint goal. Then the second one is openness. So what is openness all about? Team members should be open about all the impediments and the challenges they are facing. For example, during the daily stand-ups, we have what? The developers have to discuss what progress they are making on a day-to-day basis based on the work items or the user stories and what they are learning. And if there are any challenges, they should be open to sharing all the challenges they are facing so that they can figure out how to resolve those issues. That will help the team achieve the sprint goal even faster. Thirdly, respect. Each team member should respect the other for being very competent and independent. And irrespective of whether you are a seasoned or a senior developer on the team, you should not overlook a junior developer based on the fact that he or she might not be as competent as you are, but respect them so that they can have the competence and the confidence in themselves to go ahead and do their best work. And if there are any challenges, the entire team should work together to resolve the issue. And as you might know, respect given is respect earned. Then, fourthly, we're looking at courage. So what is courage? So each team member should have the courage to do the right thing. I recall this incident where during a retrospective event that one of the team members called out the PO on not being very regular in attending backlog refinement sessions. So that was very important. So he called out the PO on that. He had the courage to call that out because of the impact on the team for the PO not attending backlog refinement sessions. What is the impact or what are the consequences? There will be stories rolling over to the next sprint just because they were not well understood or well defined during sprint planning or backlog refinement, for example, and it is going to pull the entire team down. So velocity is going to be dropping. So this developer had the courage to let the PO know that, hey, it would be nice if you start attending backlog refinement sessions more often than you are currently. So that was courage, and that is a very positive criticism. Then, lastly, we have commitment. What is commitment all about? So the team, as they're working together, they should be committed to the achievement of what? Of the sprint goal, and they should be committed to each other. So usually there's always the tendency of developers being pulled, external stakeholders trying to pull developers out or give them work that is not planned. So the team members, they kind of agreed like on a contract that this is the sprint goal, because when they come up with the sprint goal, it's like a contract they have signed that, okay, we're going to be committed to this sprint goal and we're going to be accountable to each other and committed to each other. So if there's any work that is coming in, it should pass through, cycle through the product backlog and through the product owner before it can be prioritized and put in a sprint. So no developer should be accepting any work that is not coming through the product owner and through the product backlog into a sprint backlog. So that's the commitment we're talking about. Then moving over to this way, the Scrum pillars. There are 3 Scrum pillars. We have transparency, inspection, and adaptation. So transparency is all about making visible all the Scrum artifacts. And what are the Scrum artifacts? The Scrum artifacts are the product backlog, the sprint backlog, and the product increment. So the product increment is what? The shippable, usable part of the product that has already been built by the developers and ready for release. So all of that should be visible, and usually when we use a tool like Jira to link each story to a version. So whenever a story is done, we can always pull up those stories that are ready for release by tracking it through the version that it was linked to. So with that way, a tool like Jira makes that particular artifact very visible. Then of course we have the product backlog. As you know, any story that has to be worked on has to cycle through the product backlog, which is visible to stakeholders before it can be prioritized into the sprint. Then of course we also have the sprint backlog. That's right. From the product backlog, during sprint planning, they decide on the fraction of the stories they're going to work on during the sprint. So all of that has to also be visible using the help of tools like Jira, as I explained before. Then inspection is another Scrum pillar. So all the Scrum events, from the sprint planning to the daily Scrums to the sprint review and the sprint retrospective, are all opportunities for the team to inspect the work they have done and adapt. So particularly for a Scrum event such as sprint retrospective, the team reflects on all the processes and tools that they used during the last sprint. Are there opportunities for improvement? If they see opportunities for improvement, they will come up with their improvement action items and implement in the next sprint, so that they can have a better outcome of the sprint goals in the next sprint. So that is inspection. Then adaptation is the pivoting based on the changes or on the lessons they have learned from the previous sprint. So it is said that inspection without adaptation is pointless. So these two work together. They inspect the work they have done, they inspect their processes, and they inspect all the tools. If there are need for changes, then they have to come up with those improvement action items and implement them in the next iterations. And that is inspection and adaptation working together. So in this video, we covered what the Scrum values are and what the Scrum pillars are and why they're important. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and turn on the notification bell so that you won't miss out on any other videos I release. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.